You are listening to DFPN, the Dat Feeling Podcast Network. If you'd like to advertise with us or have a great podcast idea that needs a home, please reach out to us at podcastdatfeeling@gmail.com. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you love to listen to your favorite podcasts. And always remember to question the answers. Go get it.
What is up, everybody? This is your boy Brett Like a King, Mater's Kelvin K. Lee, and this is Wrestling with My Thoughts here on the DFPN. We are back with another interview, and this time I'm keeping it in the family. I got one of our own. This is an interview long overdue. We are finally getting this one rolling. One of the hottest, and even I'm saying this even though he's on my team, because I'd be saying if he wasn't on my team anyway. He's one of the hottest podcasters out right now. He's doing a whole bunch of hip-hop legends in the game. He is interviewing them one by one. He has a list, and he's checking them off constantly. The man is on his grind constantly. Today, he's gracious enough to stop by Wrestling with Our Thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one and only Low from the desk of Low. What is up, brother?
That was a dope intro. I'm glad how you told me Low. It's a kid, I appreciate that.
Hey, man, I was trying to emulate you, but, you know, you be giving fire intros. So, man, I've been peeping your interviews, and they keep getting better. They keep getting better and better, which is why I kind of wanted you here. Just to kind of pick your brain, introduce you to my folks. If they don't know you, it's hard to find people who don't know you, especially in the podcasting world. But just introduce you to more of my people. So, first and foremost, where are you from?
I'm from Calgary, Alberta. It's in the western part of Canada now. We're famous from like the Calgary Stampede and like Bret Hart. That's about it.
Ah, Bret Hart, Calgary Stampede Wrestling. So, yeah, that is, oh yeah, man. I followed Stampede a lot. Stu Hart, Bret Hart. Most of my favorite wrestlers actually came from there. Owen Hart, Bret the Hitman Hart, pretty much the whole Hart Foundation came through there. Chris Jericho is one of my absolute favorite. Yeah, he's one of my absolute favorite wrestlers. He came through Stampede Wrestling. Anybody in the wrestling business really came through Calgary, and it's really for Canadian wrestlers. It's really like a power plant. Really, is where they grow and produce a lot of big time wrestlers. So. Yeah, you're from a rich wrestling town. You know what I mean?
Well, unfortunately, like the Stampede now, it's like more of like a party thing now too. Like we barely get to see that during the Stampedes now too. It's more of like you dress up like a cowboy and go enjoy the fair, pretty much.
Ah, okay. But yeah, so being that you are from Canada and your interviews are very hip hop influenced. So where did that come from? What was your influences, and how did hip hop influence you coming up?
Man, I kind of found hip hop like in the most like strangest way because before we moved into Calgary, I used to live in this Prince Albert. It's in Saskatchewan. I only lived there for about like 2 years of my life, but that's where I found hip hop.
Right.
I was walking down the street one day and I found a CD and it had like a weed leaf on it. And I didn't know it at the time, really. I was like 9 years old or something like that. I'm like 2001. So I'm over here thinking it's a PlayStation game. So I go put it in my PlayStation. Turns out like this is like music. So it was that Dr. Dre's 2001 CD that like my first actual that I discovered by accident. And it was over from there.
So you're
a guest on that album,
right? So your first introduction to hip hop was the Chronic 2001.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's not a bad way to fucking break in, man. That's one of the best albums ever.
Yeah.
Plus, you got introduced to Eminem on that too, right? Because he was on that album.
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually got more towards Exhibit more. That was like the very first guest that I went off and did my research about that album.
Right. Oh, Exhibit.
Yeah, because he was on What's the Difference Between Me and You?
Yeah.
When I heard his voice and stuff like that, I'm like, yo, I need to hear more of this guy. And then I went to.
Oh wow, yeah. So yeah, there were quite a lot of artists on there that you could actually follow from that one album because pretty much everybody was. Yeah, pretty much everybody was on that damn album. Wow, that's a cool way to find hip hop. That's a really cool way to find it.
Yeah, especially by accident too. When you think it's just a PlayStation game, like,
right.
This?
Right. So from that album, so I noticed, and this is just listening to your interviews, you like study the purist of hip hop. So I noticed that you tend to find like the organic teachers and thinkers and speakers of hip hop. So what led you down that path? So started from the Chronic, which it's not one of those definitely conscious albums, right? It's
no.
It's not one of those. So what led you down that path? Because I noticed that's like you kind of gravitate towards those types of artists.
Oh yeah, most definitely too. Because when you're discovering new music at a time too, like it's like what I said too, I went off and discovered artists from that Chronic album too. So it goes back to Eminem now. When I finished everything by Eminem, I'm like, where's he from? So I found out Detroit. So Detroit hip hop really introduced me to things like that, like a Slum Village,
right,
or Elzai, or Royce 5'9", and that's where like the conscious stuff really started to come from. And after that, because they got to Detroit, really, really gets inspired by New York. I like to say too, because that Random Acts album too,
right,
that one that Guilty to Sean Price, that's what made me really get put onto these spitters and consciousness too, and then. You go from Sean Price to Smith and Wesson, and you go from Black Moon, and then when I discovered Wu-Tang, it was all over. Like I don't like the group albums. I like the solo albums compared to the group albums.
Right. But yeah, Wu-Tang's not a bad place to start either because everybody on Wu-Tang can spit solo. So yeah, that's a good way to put that. So. How did you get started with the podcasting? So what led you?
Oh wow!
What led you to eventually go down the road to pursue podcasting?
Well, that's a good question too. Well, before From the Desk Below, there's another podcast out there. I'm not too sure, but there's only 3 episodes. Cause I was like toying around with the idea because I used to listen to Combat Jack, Joe Budden. A lot of other podcasts, right?
Right.
Just other people talk. And I was like, man, me and my friends, we get together and I say some pretty wildish shit sometimes when we're all together.
Right.
So why not we record? So we did 3 episodes and like no one was really committed. So I took a year off because I wasn't even going to do it. I was trying to figure out myself. I'm like, should I do photography? Should I just be a gamer? And then I'm like, let's do this podcast because this app came across my timeline on Facebook called Anchor, like make your own podcast and get it on iTunes and Spotify. So I'm like, let's try this again. So if you go back into my archives, it's just me talking like the first 3 episodes. Like I had no idea what the hell I was gonna do with this. I'm like, that's good luck,
brother. If you listen to anybody's podcast, it all starts that way. We're just rambling. We're just talking.
Yeah, Like, oh, okay, people are gonna listen, but yeah, it don't work like that. I'm gonna say that right now. No, it don't.
Right.
So it wasn't until like oh man, like I was going through some rough things after the third episode, and like I was like, man, I need to figure out something because things weren't going right with my job. You know, staying alone all the time, things weren't going well with my family. So I'm like, man, like, I need to figure out something that's gonna make me happy. And I'm like, if I don't figure this shit out, I'm just gonna call it quits and just give up on life. So I really took the time to sit there and think about it, and I'm like, you know, I always see like DJ academics be interviewing people on the internet. I'm like, let's just try it. So at first, when I did this, I messaged, I can't tell you how much people I messaged. I'm like, hey, my name's so and so. Would you like to be the first guest on the podcast? And
Right.
guarantee, because I have no credibility, right?
Right,
Everyone's
right,
gonna
right.
say no or just might pass me.
Right. So
At first-
wait. So, which that was gonna lead me into another question. So,
Okay.
like your process, you're literally just shooting your shot,
Yeah.
right? So that's your process. Just throw a dart and hope it sticks. If this guy
Yeah,
wants to
pretty
come
much.
on, they come on. If not, not right. That is interesting because I genuinely wanted to know, like, what is your process? Because being that I do cover wrestling, and there's a lot of wrestlers I want to interview because I've been shooting my shot too. You know what I mean? But I was like, I wonder what Low does because he's just pulling them. You know what I mean? But yeah, you gotta. Is it just constantly shooting your shot, or just if one don't accept, I'm on to the next one? Like, what is your process?
Pretty much is like I have to realize is everybody's like their own individuals, right? So everybody
Right.
has a different process of how they want to respond to you. Some may watch you for a couple of months, then get back to you. Some may respond right to you. So basically, like if they don't get back to me right away, I'm not gonna waste time. I'm like, all right, I gotta. There's a lot of other people that'll be willing to be wanting to interview. So
Right.
why wait on one person?
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, here's another question to follow up on that. How many big names have turned you down before actually say, all right, I'll get on?
Actually, it's less than you think, but only probably like 3 big name people actually turned me down.
Right.
I'll put one because I don't think I'm ever going to interview him. Joel Santana turned me down, and because I was like, he wanted some wild amount. I'm like, I'm not paying that, bro. We don't pay for it.
So that's a thing because most people do ask for like payments for interviews. So have you actually paid somebody to do an interview?
And I'm going to keep it all the way buck, like my guy Flea says. I paid for about 3 interviews.
That you must have really wanted them shits though.
But this is in my beginning. So not after season 2. That was the last time I paid for an interview was October 31st, 2018. That was the last time we paid for one, season 2.
Wow. So throughout this whole process, have you noticed the change in the way you approach a podcast? Or is it do you have a formula on how you actually put out your content? Or are you just like
because when I first, because it's all, if you go back and look at my Kimbo Instagram too, I didn't know what the hell to do with this. I thought like the minute you finish the interview, you put that out. Like that's what I did with my first episode. The minute we finished it, I hit publish and I took a screenshot of it on iTunes. I posted it on IG. I'm like, hey, this interview's out. So like I had no idea about cover art, presentation. I'm like, okay, you do the interview and put it out. Then, shout out to Mark because he'll tell me what to do.
Yep. That man is full of guidance, man. He is full of guidance. So, and that's another thing of yours that like I really do admire. Your marketing is up there. You know what I mean? With the because I noticed you do the cover arts, and then you've gotten into the video, the little vignette style promotion where you put a video together and you pump that out. So what part of that is more important? Is it the how you put it out or who you're allowing to see it?
I think it's like how I'm putting it out, right? Because like anybody can see it, right? It's like it's gonna be like, what if this is in my mind, what if this randomly comes across somebody's things? Like I want them to be like, this is very well done, and I don't want to be like them to be like, oh, we're gonna come back to this. It's like I want them to check that out right now.
Right.
It's cool. Come back to it. It's cool. I'm saying our lives.
Right. I get that. So moving on, what is, and this is a question I have marked up, what was your most awkward interview?
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. Shout out to my guys. Wayne did one since Jeff. Those two my guys. The Woo Syndicate one.
Did it just went off the rails?
Yeah, so basically, like, because, like, you know how the Wu-Tang has, like, the term Wu affiliates, right?
Right.
Yeah, I should have used the term family, because when I used the term Wu affiliates, it just went left.
So we family over here.
Yeah, and then like halfway through the interview, like, they're in like, a car, mind you, doing this interview, and there's two, because it's Joe Mafia and Maya Linsky. So, like, near the end of the interview, they take the phone, they're like, we're going to the club. We're taking you with me. I don't think that'd be good for the audio.
You going in the club too. We're taking you in the club too.
Like showing me like in the club, they're like, yeah, we're doing an interview from Canada. Oh no, okay. That's glow, we out.
I don't know. I probably would have did that one. I'd have been like, all right, let me see what the club's like. I don't know.
Well, what if that? Because like at the time, right, like this was like early on in my season, right? So anything I can get, I was like, well, I'm not gonna wait. I'm putting this shit out.
Right. And you know when you starting out, that's kind of like your mentality. Because I noticed that when I got into podcasting myself, just like you want something out there and you want to be consistent, and then the more I'm doing it, the more I'm learning like how to pace myself doing a podcast. But I find myself doing that too. Like I got to get the content out. You know what I mean? Like I got to get it out. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. But I'm learning how to pace myself in it. And with anything, you learn how to pace yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So next question.
You learn how to do it many.
Oh yeah, true. After you do a lot, then it becomes like second nature. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, next question. How did you find that feeling? Like, what led you to that feeling? How did you get affiliated with that feeling podcast? Or DFPN, as we affectionately call it.
I love this story, man. I told the story a million times, but I'll gladly tell it on Wrestling with My Thoughts. I'll go into a little bit more in depth. So, one of my goals when I got into podcasting was to get a Kim Crooked interview. So my 10th episode, that happened. Like so I was gonna quit. I was like, I got what I wanted. I'm done. Like, so I was like, I found my calling. I got what I wanted that quick. I was like, that was it. So I took a month off and really started to like think about if I'm gonna continue doing this or not. So at the time. So a month goes by, I decided to keep doing the podcast, and I'm paying attention to Crooked. Now, he has a group with his younger brothers called Family Business. Now, there's a track on that album, it's called Grand Opening. There's a track on that album called My Lady, featuring MLK Sucks. Now, when I first heard MLK Sucks, I was like, God damn, how the fuck did I know this? But then I get out to tell myself, I'm like, this is somebody brand new, and at the time I could have pronounced the name word shit.
Right.
So at the time I just finished interviewing Petey Crack, Mike Geronimo. So I was like, hey, Mark, I noticed I found you on a Kim Crooked song. Now you only had that one song out, but would you like to come on the podcast and explain like your name, because I can't say your name, and explain like like your artistry and like maybe the stuff you don't know.
Yeah.
So first he had to think about it, and then like one day I get this DM. He's like, yo, I'm gonna send you this project, and like mind you, like this is before I'm with that feeling. So I'm like, you're gonna send me a project? Like I can look it up on Tidal. That's cool, bro. He's like, no, it's not out. What? You gonna send me a fucking unreleased project? So I'm like, all right, cool. And when I heard that, I was like, that's when I got introduced like E. Smitty and then Wizard's Beast. And then at the time, I didn't know 110 was with him until after. But yeah, after Mark sent me that, he did the interview with me. And then like, I told him, because I did this interview right before the Buckshot interview. So I released Buckshot's interview before his. And then he released his, he really liked it too. So that was like in the summertime of 2018. And it wasn't until January where I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, I really like that feeling. Do you think I can cover them? Like, can I cover East? Because I asked him, like, can I cover East Smitty, Wizards Beast? And then he had the group with Hello Tomorrow and DJ 110. He told me.
Right.
I asked him about. I'm like, what's this Hello Tomorrow thing? And then he told me about it. And then after that week that went by that I aired the interviews, he's like, would you like to be a part of that feeling? And at first I was like, are you shitting me? Like, I didn't believe it at first. I was
no,
like,
he's not.
You to be a part of it.
Right. That's a dope story, man. That's a dope story. So, so you came around, you were there in the beginning, like in the inception period.
Yeah, like around 2018, I like to say like my introduction to like the team was too. It wasn't until like I was official until like 2019, like in January.
Right. Okay. So, how has the process been with them so far? I like to ask everybody this because I'm gonna get the same answer, but I want to hear it from everybody.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, like with the process, like it really showed me like on how to like present my product to the world. Like as we were saying before, like with the cover art. And you know what? It's kind of funny too, because when I first started this too, Mark seen a bunch of the interviews that I had that didn't have really promotion. So he's like, send me these interviews. We're gonna revamp them on the Dad Film Podcast and give it a lot more promotion as opposed to a screenshot.
Right.
So when you see, if you go back and look at from the Desk Below post of the early videos, he made like Dad Feeling podcast videos for the Buckshot interview, Ken Crooked interview.
Right.
And then I Mark's a smart guy because I didn't realize what he was trying to do until this year. At first, because I didn't see that at first. I'm like, oh, this is crazy and stuff like that, promotion stuff like that. Then I seen he's trying to introduce me to that. So
right. Yeah.
It's crazy how he'll put stuff and you not realize.
He does like Jedi mind tricks, man. He does that all the time. He does that all the time. He'll put an idea in your mind and you be like, oh, okay. And then you start doing it without even thinking about it. You're already doing it. You're not even thinking about why you're doing it. It's like, oh, he did tell me this like so long ago, and I've been doing it this whole time. That's crazy. Oh man. So, being that you have, man, you've got a lot of guests, a lot of big name guests on your podcast so far. What?
Still feels like I'll tell you the truth.
Huh? What happened?
Feels like a dream. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah. Nah, dude, like for real. I'm glad to see it. I'm happy to see it on the DFPN platform, really, man, because there's been a lot of artists that I didn't think would grace it that have graced the platform, and that's thanks to you. So kudos to you for that shit, man. It's dope as fuck to see. I think like me being like a hardcore Dead Prez fan, like that shit blew my mind when you had Stick.
Really?
Yeah, that shit blew my mind, bro. Like I was like, oh fuck, he pulled Stick from Dead Prez. I was like, oh shit, it's up here. It's up here now. That was dope, man. That was dope as fuck. But
we live in a day and age that like anything can happen. Like it doesn't matter how much success the next man has, because like at the end of the day, there are people like us.
Yeah. At the end of the day, definitely.
They like to have more. Their face may be more well known, and they may have like bigger accolades. But at the end of the day, they eat, they watch TV like us, they watch podcasts like us. They're human. They don't know anything.
Right. Definitely. But still, man, it's dope. It's dope to see. It's dope. It's dope as fuck to see. But what big names haven't you got on your podcast yet that you are actually looking for?
Well, I've been trying for a long time for Benny the Butcher because I'll give that guy his best interview. I just want like a Benny the Butcher, Rock Marciano, Voice 5'9", a Joe Budden. I want to interview Joe Budden.
Oh, I would love to hear that. I would really love to hear that.
Because like you never know what kind of style of Joe you're gonna get. So I just want to see like, what kind of Joe that day from him.
Right. Joe is all over the place. If you listen to his podcast, it's definitely all over the place. So
oh yeah. But hey, but I like to say he's one of my influencers now too. So if he can be all over the place, I can play what he does too.
Right. Definitely. So being that we are on a wrestling podcast, let me ask you a couple of wrestling questions.
Oh, please do.
You're from Calgary, so this may be a biased question. Actually, since you're from Calgary, I'm gonna ask you a Calgary question.
Okay.
Who's better, Brett or Owen?
Oh, that's easy. That's Brett.
Really? I would say Owen.
Okay.
Out of the two, Owen was the more entertaining one. That'd be me.
Right on that part, yeah, man.
That'd be me. Like when they had that brother versus brother match, I was Owen. I was Team Owen all day. Like, give me Owen Hart. Me growing up, I didn't really like the good guys. So Owen being bad was like right up my alley. He was like the bad Hart. And I was like, yes, I want him. That's my guy right there.
He's got a temper up.
All right, so you can sign one or cut one. Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan?
Oh shit! Oh, that's a tough one. Wow.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
At first, when you said Ric Flair, I was like, oh, I think you do Hulk Hogan. Oh shit! Okay. I'm gonna have to say, I would hire Ric Flair and cut Hulk Hogan.
Oh, why?
I feel like Hogan was like kind of a diva off camera, but I don't notice. I just feel like he has like that diva persona off camera. It's like, he may seem tough on camera, but if you don't have that box of like the ginger ale by his door, yeah, he ain't doing it.
Oh, wow.
That's just me, because I seen him off camera.
Right. Actually, I don't know. Out of the two, oh, that's a tough question even for me. And I asked it. I would probably say Hogan. Really?
Okay.
Because out of the two, Hogan drew the most people in. Like,
okay.
Ric Flair was cool, but if every child on the face of the planet is saying, I'm going to take my prayers and eat my vitamins, you got a lot of money on your hands, man.
Yeah, that's a good ass. I never thought of it like that before.
You got a good wrestler on your hands. Now, last wrestling related question. Which rapper would be the Hulk Hogan of rap?
Which rapper would be the Hulk Hogan of rap?
Yes.
Sean Price.
Oh, out of all the rappers out there, Sean Price.
Yeah, because I feel like Hogan had like what I said about him being a diva off camera, but he would screw somebody up like he had like that say like, I'm not here to play, like I'm here to do my job, and if you don't do my job great, I'm just gonna keep doing my job if you don't like it or not. And Sean Price was very like that too. Like I seen this video of somebody coming up to slap his hand, he's like, fuck, I'm doing my job. Okay, what? Do you? R.I.P.
R.I.P. to Sean Price, man. Hell of a rapper. But that would be your pick for the Hulk Hogan of rap. All right.
Yes, sir.
I respect that.
You know what? Well, And also too, like Sean Price was a very bulky figure too, and Hulk Hogan's very bulky too.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it goes
yeah.
hand in hand.
Yeah. All right, cool. I wasn't expecting that one, but I respect that. I respect the hell out of that answer. I was thinking like maybe Jay-Z or somebody, but he came out with Sean Price. I can't even hate on it. Oh man, but you know, man, what you doing so much work that you're doing. Where do you see your podcast in the next 3 years? Like, if you had to roadmap it, like, where do you want to go in the next 3 years with your podcast?
Well, I see, like, somebody said this to me recently the other day, too, like, Johnny Carson?
Right.
I was like, I heard the name. I'm not too familiar with that. And then, so I started doing research on Johnny Carson. I was like, wow, this guy was early on a lot of people. And then they went on to be famous after, he interviewed a bunch of people when they were no ones.
Right.
And they went on to become, like, world famous stars. So, honestly, like, probably something like Jimmy. Like, I know that's not going to be in 3 years, but like, I'm going to try to work towards like a late night show, like showing like hip hop, like, because at some point I do want to have mainstream guests, but I also don't want to completely just say like forget where I came from.
Right. You want to bring up somebody with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's dope. So. I had a question. I had a follow-up question because of something you just said. What rappers do you see on the rise right now? Like that you say you listen to a guy and that guy has star potential. Who is that?
Okay, not because I'm biased, but the first guy, because even before I was with That Feelings, Mark Sarks, right?
Definitely.
There. So I'm gonna say that. I'm saying first. My guy Flea Lord, Star Power, The Walkers, Bob Rock, Ty Ferris, Eddie Kane, Rim. Those guys, they Wave to God. I would love to see them like have their own like HBO show, man. Because those guys are stars right there.
All right.
Kid Vicious. Yeah, there's a lot that deserve that Star Power.
Everybody, if you were listening, rewind that and then build your playlist off of everything he just said. Because Low likes dope people. So make your playlist.
Maybe like a little vulgar, but hey, it's what it is.
Yeah. So, actually, I didn't even ask you this question yet.
Oh yeah.
Being that you are in Canada, who are some Canadian rappers that we should be actually looking out for? Because Canada don't slouch on rap. They don't.
Oh, no. I like how you said, too, he actually has the potential to be like the new Benny of Canada, too, but with his own style, too. Danielson. That guy, he's from Brampton, Ontario.
Okay. Who else?
Ason Eastward, I believe he's from Brampton, too. My bad, Ason, if you're listening. Falcon Outlaw, Falcon Crest, they're from Toronto. They have a very unique style on it too. It's where and Dante, very unique artists right there. Man, who else is out here in Canada too? There's a lot of dope rappers from, especially I noticed like Toronto with the underground now too. Like they have like, a lot of dope artists.
Right. Yeah, Toronto's pumping them out by the second. They are pumping them out by the second. So yeah, I need to make my way back up there, man. I miss Canada. Canada's awesome. I've never been to Calgary either, but I might have to go to the west side because I've been to Toronto a couple times, but I've never been to the west side. I'm gonna have to come out there and see what y'all talking about out there.
If you haven't been to Detroit, I heard the weather's just like in Detroit here.
Oh, and then I don't want to go because it's cold. I don't know why I'm tripping. Toronto cold too. Toronto might be colder than all of them because it's by the lakes, man. Man, I went up there in like September and it was already cold. I was like, I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna hate it out here.
Yeah, Calgary will have 4 seasons in one day in summer.
Yeah. See, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I need some change, man. Being in Cali spoils you because you get used to the weather, and then you go everywhere else, and it's like, man, this weather sucks. I need California back, but it's so expensive.
But see, you lucky. You've been to all these. I never even left. The only 2 places I've been were Saskatchewan, Prince Albert, and Calgary. That's about it.
Oh wow. But yeah, so yeah, we definitely got to make a trip up there happen. So,
Oh yes, sir.
but yeah, but that's it. That's all I got. This has been a dope chat, man. It's been a dope.
Yeah, man, it was actually good. I liked it.
Yeah, it's been a dope little chat. I would love to have you back on sometime, and get some updates and see where you are, who you got interviewing, and I look forward to seeing who you pull out next, man.
I appreciate that. Saturday and Sunday, gonna be a few surprises. I appreciate you. If you like Knife Wonder, you might want to pay attention to Sunday.
Whoa. You got Ninth Wonder?
No, I'm not gonna say who. I'm just gonna say if you like Knife Wonder,
Then
it could be.
don't tease me like that, Lo. Don't tease me like that, man. Cause now I'm gonna be all over it. That's dope.
I was gonna say if you pay attention to Knife Wonder and who he works with, it's you will like it. It could be Knife Wonder, or it could be one of his artists. You just never know.
That could be anybody, man.
Okay, Jamala. I'll leave it at that.
Oh shit! All right, I'll be there. I'll check you out.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? The man pulls everybody out his hat, man. This man is a magician.
Nah, man. I just pretty much send them a DM, and every time they respond, I look at my phone damn, you already actually responded.
All right, man. Last question. Can you shout out the podcast one time for me?
Oh yeah, no problem. Man, this is Lo. Man, I'm on Wrestling with My Thoughts here with my guy Blak Makk, and I'm telling you right this: if you ain't up on Wrestling with My Thoughts right now, and if you into wrestling, you sleeping right now. It's on the Dash Feeling Podcast Network. We have a ton of great shows on there. I'm telling you, Wrestling with My Thoughts. You a wrestling fan? You got your fix. Blak Makk.
Thank you, brother. That is exactly what I needed. I'm gonna make this shit a soundbite.
I hope it was good.
Yep. All right, my guy. That's all I got for today. You guys, for all the listeners out there, thank you guys for tuning in to Wrestling with Our Thoughts here on the DFPN. We will talk to you next time. Until then, stay tuned. God bless. Be safe.